Call to order a public hearing, special meeting for the Shandaken Town Board. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Resolution 13718 and 13818 of the Town Board of the Town of Shandaken will hold a public hearing on January 22nd, 2019 at 6 p.m. at the Shandaken Town Hall, 7209, Route 28, Shandaken, New York, for consideration of the Shandaken Hamlet Septic Maintenance District sewer use law. Also, the Town Board will address the proposal to establish a Septic Maintenance District in the Hamlet of Shandaken. And we'll hear all those in favor or against. Board Member Albert? No. Board Member Disclefani?
Here.
Board Member Thorne? Here. Board Member Van Barton?
Here.
Supervisor Stanley?
Here. So, as Joyce pointed out, we're all here tonight to hear those in favor or against the proposed sewer maintenance district. Until we ever know we'll address it. What do you mean? Again, I think this is going to be good for the community. I think the community's behind it. I know that you gentlemen in field research, talking with quite a few people, who said that a number of them said get it done yesterday, and we're looking forward to this. So, we will be looking to vote toward going to public referendum, and we'll set that date tonight, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll give it a few minutes, see if anybody shows up.
You did both the sewer use law and the septic maintenance district?
We have all that with you?
What?
We have all that.
We have two hearings, one
Yes.
on sewer use and one on the septic maintenance. Is this a combined?
Yes.
Okay.
So how did everybody feel about
We made it back.
it? Ready for the rain now? Wash around it.
It's going to be worse.
No, it's not going
I
to
don't know.
How cold did it get here on Saturday?
I had like -9 at my house.
I had -13.
We had -16.
You got a negative 16?
Wow.
That's up on top of the hill, though.
I think below zero is about the same.
It's below zero, yeah. Wind chill about, who knows?
Yeah, I can measure it by the ice on the windows on my hand.
The car started really hard that day.
Oh,
Zit, 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 boom. Finally went.
our biggest problem was trying to make sure we got on Main Street and Pine Hill, so we were trying to keep the roads clear, so everybody, basically we were pumping on each other's lawns and stuff. So we could climb.
How much snow did you guys get here? Like how many inches was total?
Well, you know, I'm gonna say, Bel Air said 14 inches, but I don't think we got that much.
Down here, more like 10 or 9.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep track because it's drifting so much where we are.
Well, the rain,
The rain.
the code of rain really packed it down.
Yeah.
So,
Then we need a lot more.
Oh,
than rain.
we had a pour down,
8 o'clock in the
yeah.
morning. Or
7 o'clock in the morning. It's
7,
poured.
yeah. I was out there. It's funny because it just happened with my daughter, broke her arm, and she was crying about some pain at about 4 o'clock in the morning. I said, I don't even want to shovel. Thank God I did, because I got most of it when it was still light and fluffy. And then I went back out and said there was that pour of rain, there was a heavy slush on it. I was so grateful that I done most of it out in the morning.
Yeah, because it was. And then when it turned to ice,
Yep.
nice thick chunk.
How'd she break her arm?
Skiing,
Ah,
skiing with your older sister trying to keep up.
my wife's at the doctor with our daughter right now. She might have broke her finger playing basketball today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's 10.
The trees.
Kids and broken bones.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I look back and what, with that, and told my hand, that's 3 knee surgeries for my mother. All right, I mean, is there a legitimate time we need to keep this open, Kevin, by any law that you know of, or there's nobody here?
No, but no.
No objections?
No objections.
Okay, so with that, I entertain a motion to close the public hearing regarding the creation of a Shandaken Septic Maintenance District and establishment of a Shandaken Septic Maintenance Sewer Use Hall.
Second that.
In favor?
Aye.
Thank you. With that, I'd like to open up Town of Shandaken special meeting.
Okay. So the first thing we're going to do tonight is seeker. So yeah, you have to do seeker before you can do anything else. So Chris, do you want to?
Well, at the last meeting, we, just pull out my documents here. Pass it.
Could you explain what secret is just for the public so they know what that
Okay.
means?
Okay, so what you're doing tonight is two things. You're hopefully starting the process, or the second critical step in the process of forming a septic maintenance district. And you're also adopting a sewer use law for that district. SEEKR, the State Environmental Quality Review Act, says that before a government takes action, the government has to look at whether or not that action will have a significant adverse impact on the environment. And if you think it may have a significant adverse impact on the environment, then you're supposed to prepare a draft environmental impact statement, which is a big deal. If you determine, based on reviewing the documentation, that it will not have a significant adverse impact on the environment, you can issue something called a negative declaration that there's no need for an environmental impact statement. And this process, that the formation of a septic maintenance district, the adoption of a sewer use law, really is, we prepared a long form environmental assessment form analyzing, and we prepared a narrative rationale as to why it doesn't have a significant adverse impact. And basically, it's really has nothing but a positive impact. What we're doing, we're not building, new construction. We're taking responsibility for existing septic systems and repairing those septic systems, replacing those septic systems, and maintaining those septic systems with a fund that is provided by the city of New York. And that's what we're doing. In the SEEKR regulations itself, if you're repairing, maintaining, or replacing a septic system for an individual household, that in itself is deemed what we call type 2 action under SEEKR, which is an action that does not have a significant impact on the environment. So in order to issue a negative declaration, the board has to pass a resolution agreeing with the concept that there is no significant adverse impact from the formation of the sewer district and the adoption of the sewer use law. And Chris, I think, handed out the long form EAF, and then there's a part 2 to the long form EAF that we completed.
That's correct. So what you're looking at, the first page is part 1. Part 1 we completed at the last board meeting. Rob signed it, and I sent the part 1 EAF to all the involved and interested agencies. If you flip back to the back part of the part 1, you'll see that there are attachments, which include a detailed description of the action, project location maps, and other things. The involved and interested agency list, I don't know if I have a copy of it with me here. That was handed out last time. I have a copy of it, do I? Yes, I do. Here it is. So basically, it's the town of Shandaken, the highway department, the planning board, CWC being the funding agency, Ulster County Planning Department, the Ulster County Department of Health, Ulster County Soil and Water Conservation District, the DEP, both planning and engineering, the New York State Division of Historic Preservation, DEC Region 3 permits, New York State Department of Health, New York State DOT Region 8, New York District Army Corps of Engineers. Those were the list of involved and interested agencies. Basically, they're agencies that may have an interest in the project or may have to permit the project or review and provide approval of the project. We sent them part 1 of the EAF, and I sent them a copy of the letter where the board passed a resolution establishing themselves lead agency. And I only received 3 responses. I received a response from DOT, basically acknowledging and accepting you establishing yourself as lead agency. I received one from the Ulster County Soil and Water District, again accepting you as lead agency. And I received one from DEP accepting you as lead agency. And they provided a few comments as far as permitting requirements, stormwater pollution prevention plans, and how to submit septic design and things like that. Nobody had any objection to you as being lead agency, and it was good. You know, good. We checked the box. We did it. So they're required to respond within 30 days.
30 days, yeah.
And so those are the only responses we received in 30 days. Been way past 30 days at this point. So then after the 30 days passed, we went through and we filled out part 2 of the EAF, which is halfway through your packet.
Were any of the property owners notified?
No, they were not sent part 1 of the EAF. Kevin?
That's not part of it, that's not part of the secret. That's not part of the secret.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm just
So
seeing if they're aware of it.
so this is part 2 of the EAF. Basically, it takes part 1 and it takes any comments we receive from involved and interested agencies. And we go through and we evaluate the project in relation to each of these components. Should I go through each one, Kevin?
No, unless they have questions. It's almost hard to imagine what would be an adverse impact. But you'll look at its impact to land, impact to groundwater, impact to community, and the answer.
Basically, we determined there are no significant impacts.
Correct. And supervisor has to sign that part 2?
Actually, the part 2 doesn't have a signature page. It's part 3 that has a signature page. So if you flip through the last 2 pages of this is the part 3. Looks like this. Okay. And with that goes the notice of determination of non-significance, which is this document I handed out to everyone. Basically, the part 3 is a simple checklist. You check that the seeker status is a type 1 seeker. We identify the portions of the completed environmental assessment form, completed part 1, 2, and 3. And then on the last page, we checked box A. This project will result in no significant adverse impact on the environment, and therefore an environmental impact statement need not be prepared. Accordingly, this negative declaration is issued. And then we have the name of the action, Shandaken Community Wastewater Management Program. Lead agency is the town of Shandaken. Responsible officer is the supervisor. And then we have the negative declaration. I don't know, should I?
So this document, which is entitled Negative Declaration, Notice of Determination of Non-Significance, this is sort of the reasoned elaboration that you're supposed to look at. And it goes through impact on land, no significant impact. Impact on geological features, no significant impact. Impact on surface water, impact on groundwater, impact on flooding, impact on air, impact on plants and animals. So it goes through all those lists. And we haven't identified any significant adverse impact. And if you agree with that, then you're ready to pass the resolution.
So you have in front of you Resolution 50 of 2019.
Yeah. So.
Resolution of the Town Board of the Town of Shandaken determining that there are no adverse impacts on the environment from the design, construction, and operation of the wastewater management project in the Hamlet of Shandaken. Whereas the town board of the town of Shandaken previously entered into an agreement with Castor Watershed Corporation, CWC, to participate in the Community Wastewater Management Program, which program will provide for the design and construction of a wastewater management project in the hamlet of Shandaken. And whereas the CWC, through the program, will provide full funding for the wastewater management project through a block grant. And whereas CWC's consultant for the program, Lamont Engineers, has prepared a preliminary engineer's report for the hamlet of Shandaken, final issue dated June 2017, evaluating various alternative methods for managing the wastewater needs of the hamlet of Shandaken, such report marking the end of the study phase of the project. And whereas the town has reviewed the preliminary engineer's report prepared by Lamont Engineers, and whereas based upon its review of the preliminary engineer's report and consultation with the town's special counsel, the town board agreed to proceed with the pre-construction phase of the project as set forth in section 2.05 of the agreement, such schedule to be agreed upon by the town and CWC. And whereas the town board of the town of Shandaken sought and obtained lead agency status and commenced coordinated review of this action pursuant to the requirements of the State Environmental Quality Review Act, 6 NYCRR Part 617, and whereas the town of Shandaken pursuant to 6 NYCRR Part 617 conducted a coordinated review and sought input from various involved and interested agencies on its designation as lead agency. Whereas the town board has had meetings with the public and other agencies on this project and reviewed the extensive documentation prepared by the engineers and others for this project and have taken a hard look at all of the potential environmental impacts. Now therefore be it resolved as follows by the town board of Shandaken, Ulster County, New York. The town board of the town of Shandaken as lead agency for the purposes of compliance with SECRES, Section 6 NYCRR Part 617 adopts a negative declaration attached hereto for the above referenced project, including but not limited to the formation and implementation of a septic maintenance district, the adoption of local laws related thereto, the acquisition of property and easements related thereto, the execution of construction agreements related thereto for the hamlet of Shandaken in the town of Shandaken. The town board hereby authorizes the town supervisor to execute any and all legal documents for the hamlet of Shandaken on behalf of the town as may be necessary to complete the secret process, whereupon the resolution was put to a vote and recorded. And I move its adoption.
Second.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it out there. Board member Alva's absent. I don't have that on here. Board member DeScalani,
Yes.
board member Storms,
Yes.
board member Van Blarken,
Yes.
supervisor Stanley.
Yes.
Okay. So now we're going to go to resolution 52, not 51. Is this microphone working?
Yeah,
Okay.
should be.
Not,
No?
is not?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to sort of read it, really, because as I read it, we're going to talk about it and explain exactly what we're doing. So this is the resolution for the establishment of a septic maintenance district after public hearing. And where it says, on December 3rd, the town board duly adopted a resolution accepting and adopting the materials needed for the formation of the septic maintenance district. And we provided last time, on December 3rd, this book, which contains the engineering report, contains the sewer use law, describes the project in detail. That's kind of, this book becomes kind of the business plan of the septic maintenance. So in that book, reciting the cost of the formation of the district will be subsidized by New York City, and directing a copy of the district formation report be placed at the town clerk's office. So this book is available at the town clerk's office for everybody to see. The town board did on December 3rd adopt a resolution specifying that the town board shall meet at the Shandaken Town Hall on the 22nd of January for purpose of conducting this hearing. And whereas said orders were published and posted according to law, and the town board did at that time specify in said orders, duly meet and consider such proposals and heard all persons interested in the subject thereof, who appeared at such time and place concerning the same. So whereas the evidence offered at such time in place requires the town board to make a determination hearing made. So these are the 4 things that you need to determine. The notice of hearing was published and posted as required by law and is otherwise sufficient. And we have an affidavit of publication that it was. That all property and property owners within the proposed district are benefited thereby. And that all of the property and property owners benefited are included within the proposed district. And it is in the public interest to establish the proposed district as hereinafter described. So it's really, the 4th one is kind of the key, that it's in the public interest. The way the district is set up, it's limited to people in the district who get the benefit, no one outside the district gets the benefit, and everyone in the district is eligible for the benefits. Further notice that the town board does hereby approve the establishment of the district as hereinafter described to be known as the Shandaken Septic Maintenance District, the boundaries of which are described in the report, which is at the town clerk's office. And be it further resolved that the maximum amount proposed to be expended for the improvements is $6,770,000, and that's the block grant that was awarded for this district. But what comes out of that block grant are the costs of forming the district, the preliminary engineering work that was done, not the preliminary engineering work, but engineering work that has been done to inspect and supervise, and hopefully replace those that are failing. And then the remainder of the funds, which will be turned over to the town board to be invested for the benefit of the district. Further resolved that the improvements, including the cost of the right to okay. So here's where we're taking your lead. That pursuant to Town Law 94, this resolution shall, before becoming effective, be approved by a majority of the qualified electors of the proposed district, voting at a special election of the town to be held on, we'll get to that, 2019, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and to be held at a location to be announced by the town board. The clerk is hereby authorized and directed to give notice of the proposition to approve this resolution in a manner provided by law and to cause suitable ballots to be prepared for use at said election, which said ballots shall be substantially in the following form. So there's a choice here. You could just give notice that this is subject to a permissive referendum, and if someone files a petition within 30 days, then ballot petition, then you would hold the permissive referendum, or you can just mandate the referendum. And this is drafted because you gave us instructions that you wanted to mandate the referendum. So the referendum has to take, the election, I guess, or voting has to take place no less than 60 and no more than 75 days. From today. We generally recommend that it be a Saturday so that people are available to do it. And so the 2 Saturdays in that window are March 30th and April 6th. And you don't have to, the polls have to be open 8 hours on whatever days you pick. If you go ahead with it, we'll do all the work, so we're going to solicit Ulster County assistance in setting it up and doing it. It does requires public notice be published, public notice be posted, and mailing notice to all the property owners within a certain time period.
Yeah, they don't have to be a registered voter of Ulster County.
No,
it's a property owner.
It's the property owners, not registered voters. It's the property owners. So, what kind of, if the board feels it's necessary, we could hold public information sessions, or in some cases we go door to door just to make sure people understand what it is that they're voting on. So you have to give us direction on how you want to do that, how much information you want us to put out there and how we put it out. And so, is this what you want to do?
Does this vote require a number, a percentage of
You know, 50%?
property owners to attend?
No, it's just the majority of those who vote.
How many total are there?
What?
How many total are there?
I think there's,
60 properties?
60?
55 or 60?
60, I think it is.
so, yeah, but, you know, if you own 3 properties, you only get 1 vote. So,
Who sets up the election? It goes through the board of elections.
it goes to the Board of Elections. We'll contract with the Board of Elections. We'll pay them to set up the election and maintain the election.
And then they're gonna just do the cards printed out. They're gonna use the electronic, you don't need the electronic ballot.
We do little
readers.
slips. No,
Little
we just
slips. I was
do
gonna say,
little
it's 56
slips.
people.
Yeah, just do little
Okay.
slips.
All
We do absentee ballots.
right.
And so we, you know, what we generally do is we send to everybody a notice, this is coming up. We send that in a couple of weeks. And tell them if they want to fill out an absentee ballot, here's the application, otherwise this. And then we'll collect the absentee ballots and then we'll send out another notice right before it saying it's going to be this. That's generally what we do.
Yeah, again, I think we're committed to just having people vote on it that live in the district, and I think that's the way we want to move forward. I think that the letter, we seem to get a decent